One of the most groundbreaking historical discoveries was the Rosetta Stone. As you likely learned in elementary school, this was one large stone with 3 different languages. Each language had the same message, which allowed historians to get a huge insight into the meaning of these ancient languages. It's mistakenly believed that ancient societies only wrote on large stone tablets, since that's all we have now. But they likely wrote on many different types of parchment and other types of material. It's just that all that's left now after all this time is that which can only have survived, which is stone tablets. One ancient society in South America wrote a language that was based on string lengths and knots. They had one loop of string, and then on this loop were several other lengths of strings. And each one of these strings had several knots tied in several different configurations. Since there are enough variables, this would have been a very easy way to record very complex ideas in a very small and portable space. It's common to imagine that ancient people, because they had such primitive technology, had similarly primitive organizational structures. But since humans and human nature has been the same for tens of thousands of years, this is not likely the case. In fact, there is plenty of reason to believe the opposite might be the case. The more technology we have, the more we can outsource our creativity and our thinking. And when you think that most of what we have today is based on a very recent and very exponential growth in technology, our natural mental capacity might be significantly diminished. And if you further assume that, like our current power structures, ancient power structures had 2 separate technologies, one for the masses and one reserved for the power structure, we can extrapolate this to their writing systems. Modern government writings, even when released to the public, are heavily redacted. Those that release government secrets are guilty of treason. So it's not a stretch to imagine that the kinds of writings of ancient societies similarly fell into 2 categories, one for the masses and one for the elites. And since the masses didn't have access to education, the information written specifically for ancient masses was likely much more dumbed down than currently mass-produced information, which means that the things ancient elites wrote on stone tablets were likely designed only for mass consumption, since they were written on material that would have been very difficult to keep hidden. Something like the ancient Egyptian Book of the Dead, for example, since it was so freely available, would have paled in comparison to the real technology kept only by the elites. So who knows what written secrets they had access to? Who knows how well they could use these written secrets to access massive power? Who knows how well they could use these written secrets to create enormous wealth? Who knows how well they could use these written secrets to generate psychic abilities? Who knows how well they could use these written secrets to access telepathic powers? One way they could have used that ancient string language was to create cryptographically encoded messages. While they were written in their original form, these messages could be decoded to transfer deep secrets between kings and other elites. But if the person carrying this message was ever caught, all it would take is a few cuts, and then this message is indecipherable. Even when they are found intact, modern scholars have no idea, since they have nothing to compare these ancient string writings to, which makes them indecipherable. Even some ancient languages that are written in stone are still completely indecipherable by modern scholars. Linear A and Linear B, for example, from the mysterious Minoans, is still an unsolved puzzle. The only reason the Phoenicians are credited with inventing writing is because it was later copied by the Greeks, which means it's really the oldest form of writing that we found that we can understand. If not for the Greeks, who knows what language we might misunderstand to be the first? The Voyager 2 space probe was launched in the late 70s with information deliberately left for potential alien cultures of the future. Perhaps the Rosetta Stone was a similar message written on purpose to other future alien cultures, which means the Rosetta Stone might have been left on Earth by alien cultures for later Earth cultures of the future. Even more interesting was that the Rosetta Stone that was recovered is only a fraction of the original message, which may never be recovered. So who knows what these hidden writings may uncover?